The following is a computer animation of events that happened at the Mount Carmel Center in Waco, Texas on 19 April 1993. What you have seen is a photograph of the center, which is now faded to the computer model that will be used in the rest of the animation. The center has been three-dimensionally reconstructed with data provided by reports from the FBI, the Treasury Department, and numerous photographs of the center during the course of the siege and raid. The center is completely reconstructed from all angles and dimensions, as you can see in this fly-around. This enables illustration and modeling of the events that are going to be happening at the center during 19 April. Now the center will be disassembled from a vertical viewpoint, and the external location of the front door, swimming pool, and water tower illustrated. The second floor room layout, including the Koresh quarters. Finally, the first floor layout, including the bunker, where a number of bodies are going to be ultimately found. The next events to be depicted in the animation are the 4 gas assaults staged by the FBI on the Mount Carmel Center on 19 April. All 4 assaults employed the same chemical agent designated CS by standard NATO agreement. CS is a riot control agent, also known as tear gas.
It is orthochlorobenzylidine malonitrile,
and is extremely irritating to mucous membranes. The CS gas is going to be delivered during the assault, dissolved in a liquid solvent, methylene chloride, also known as dichloromethane, and it is going to be dispersed as an aerosol. A CS gas concentration of 10 milligrams per cubic meter is sufficient to deter trained soldiers from their mission. The means of gas delivery during the assault will take 2 forms. The first is in what are called 40-millimeter ferret rounds, launched from a conventional military M79 grenade launcher by personnel inside 5 Bradley fighting vehicles that were used in the gas assaults. The 40-millimeter round is fired from the M79 grenade launcher, much as a conventional shotgun shell, and each ferret round contains 3.7 grams of CS gas dissolved in 33.25 grams of methylene chloride. The second means of gas delivery was from ISPRA Protectojet Model 5 anti-mob fog ejectors. These were mounted on the booms of 2 combat engineered vehicles, or CEVs. A CEV is basically an M60 tank with a boom replacing the main gun on the turret. 4 ejectors were mounted on CEV-1, while 2 ejectors were mounted on CEV-2. The first gas assault commences at 6 a.m. A total of 6 M5 bottles were discharged in this first assault, mounted on the booms of the combat engineered vehicles used in the assault. Depending on the size of the room, the calculated gas concentration due to the M5 delivery alone ranged from 2 to 90 times that required to deter trained soldiers. Anyone hit directly by spray from the N5 system would be affected immediately and potentially receive a dose leading to systemic shock or conceivably death. In addition to gas delivered through the M5 system, the FBI has testified that a ferret round was fired into each window of the center. The following diagrams will illustrate the nominally calculated gas concentration in various rooms of the center. The gas concentrations due to the combat engineer vehicle M5 system are shown in orange, and gas concentration due to the M79 40mm ferret rounds are shown in green. Depending on the size of the room, the orange concentrations range from 2 to 90 times that required to deter trained soldiers. In addition to the gas itself, the methylene chloride used as a solvent would be calculated to be as high as 1.8 times the level immediately dangerous to life and health. The maximum calculated concentration resulting from a single ferret round in this assault was 16 times the level required to deter trained soldiers. The second gas assault commenced at approximately 7:30 a.m. A total of 6 M5 bottles were discharged during the second assault, 4 on the front of Combat Engineer Vehicle 1 and 2 on the front of Combat Engineer Vehicle 2. You can see from the photographic inset the areas being penetrated by the combat engineer vehicles and the damage being produced shown schematically. The points of entry were points of injection from the M5 system into the center. The CS concentrations in rooms directly injected from gas from the M5 systems were calculated to be from 2 to 80 times the level required to deter trained soldiers. Testimony indicated that continued delivery of ferret rounds occurred through the second assault from the 5 Bradley fighting vehicles. Now, schematically, the gas concentrations predicted from the assault will be shown for the gas delivered from the CEV, the ferret rounds, and the residual background gas from the first assault is shown in light green. On the first floor, the areas shown in orange were injected directly by the M5 systems on the combat engineered vehicles. Those gas concentrations produced by the ferret rounds are shown in dark green. On the second floor, the residual gas is shown in light green. Those areas affected by the CEVs in the second assault in orange. And finally, those areas affected by the ferret rounds are shown in dark green. The third gas assault commenced at approximately 9 a.m. Combat Engineer Vehicle number 2 experienced mechanical problems, so this assault was carried out solely by Combat Engineer Vehicle 1. Vehicle 1 delivered its 4 M5 bottles on its boom in the locations indicated. Damage to the center is shown schematically. Concentrations in the rooms directly injected by gas from the M5 system ranged from 30 to 90 times that required to deter trained soldiers. We are now going to illustrate the nominal gas concentration from Assault 3 as done previously. The CEV produced concentrations are shown in orange, the ferret round concentrations in dark green, and the residual background in light green. The areas shown in orange, due to the direct injection of the M5 system on the CEVs, would be predicted to produce immediate methylene chloride concentration in rooms directly injected by the gas as high as 1.8 times that level immediately dangerous to life and health. The fourth and final gas assault on the center commenced at approximately 11:45 a.m. The remaining operative combat engineer vehicle punched a hole in the side of the center as indicated. Its boom carried a total of 4 M5 bottles, which were discharged in the fourth assault. CS concentrations in the rooms directly injected by the gas from the M5 delivery system would be calculated to range from 5 to 60 times that level required to deter trained soldiers. Photographs of CEV activity have been shown in the upper right-hand corner where appropriate. Again, damage shown is schematic. Gas concentration resulting from the fourth and final assault will now be illustrated. A total of 4 M5 bottles were discharged by CEV number 1. Testimony indicates that available ferret round supplies from area local enforcement
were nearly exhausted, and few rounds were available for the fourth and final assault.
In all, the 4 assaults utilized 20 M5 bottles of CS gas and somewhere between 366 to 386 ferret rounds. We will now illustrate diagrammatically the fire initiation and progression. The first fire is detected on the forward-looking infrared images at 12:07:41 p.m. It occurs in the lower right-hand corner of the center in your picture. The second fire begins 30 seconds later at 12:08:11, and the FLIR image shows the origination in the dining room. At this time, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration Weather Station in Waco recorded high winds beginning noon the previous day and continuing unabated through the gas assault on April 19, 1993. At 11:52 a.m., these winds were recorded at 24 miles per hour with gusts to 30 miles an hour. These high winds, coupled with the penetration of all windows by ferret rounds and the large holes opened in the structure by the combat engineered vehicles, and the subsequent absence of any firefighting efforts, resulted in the structure being of wood frame construction being quickly and totally involved. There is insufficient remaining evidence to determine who set the fires. There is no evidence that the armored combat engineered vehicles were employed in a firefighting mode. The roof has been removed in this animation to illustrate the extent of the fire. This is a photograph of the Mount Carmel Center involved in fire at this stage in its progression. The following diagrams will illustrate the location of bodies found in the Mount Carmel Center after the fire and the results of autopsies on those bodies for cause of death. The roof has been removed and a plan of the building is shown with the bunker, chapel, and kitchen indicated. Bodies recovered from the first floor are indicated by blue dots, and on the second floor by the blue dots. We will now do a ground level walkthrough of the first floor to illustrate the location that various bodies were found. This view is towards the kitchen area, turning back now towards the bunker, into which the camera will now pan to illustrate the body locations. 80% of the reported causes of death and immediate contributing factors were attributed to fire-related causes, that is, thermal injuries, smoke inhalation, or asphyxiation due to carbon monoxide inhalation.
In 1993, CS gas was banned for use in warfare by the Chemical Weapons Convention.
That is, it cannot be used against enemy soldiers of an opposing nation. Search of available scientific literature indicates that the 1,900 grams of CS gas used in the Mount Carmel Center assault is the largest reported quantity ever utilized in a law enforcement effort against United States civilians.